I can certainly understand the frustrations of average citizens across the country who can't understand why the government is not allowed to pick someone up who is an illegal alien and just simply deport them, and that be the end of the matter. They're not American citizens. Why should they, have any protections that citizens enjoy in this country? The problem is that that's not how it works, and it has never worked that way. In America, we've always had a fear, collectively, that government might abuse their power. And so we've always had, from day one, the whole concept is that we divide the powers of government into three equal branches, and each has their powers, and one is not supposed to overstep the powers of another. And that is exactly what this Garcia matter is about. The Garcia matter is not about whether this fellow who has been deported to El Salvador is a good person, if he has a tattoo, if he's a member of MS-13. That's not the question. The question legally is that has he had the opportunity to go to a court and declare whether he claims to be a citizen, the government can prove that he is not a citizen, whether if he is not a citizen, can he be deported to El Salvador? There are actually American laws and international laws that address all of these issues. And when you don't go to court, when you circumvent the due process, you take the rights of that person away. And we don't want that in America, because one day, sooner or later, they'll pick up your son or my son in error, and they'll be disappeared, and we won't know where to find them, and we won't know how to get them back. And if you don't believe that could be a problem, we haven't been doing this a month, and we've already picked up not only a citizen that was born in the United States, but a fellow Georgian. I'm a Georgia boy, and he picked up somebody who was born in my state, picked him up in Florida because he didn't look right or act right. So they put him in jail, and they weren't going to release him, and didn't. He spent days in jail until his mother could finally come down and prove that he was an American citizen. And I don't think that's what we want. We don't want the government picking people up off the street just on a whim. Okay, we can't have that. I know that's inconvenient, and it's very frustrating for the people who would like to just get everybody that they think is a not American citizen and just deport them. But that's not the way the law works. And if this Garcia matter, just to go a little bit further, he's already been to court. He was in the court in 2019. If they wanted to deport him, that was their chance, and they decided they did not want to. And in fact, while they can, I suspect, deport him, a judge has ruled that he can't be sent back to El Salvador. So, because for good reasons, his family was persecuted there. And so they don't want to send him back into that where there's a likelihood he would be politically harmed there. That's part of U.S. law, and so we have to go by that. You may not like it, Trump may not like it, but we have to have those protections that was put in the law, and we can't say, well, we don't like the law in this situation, so let's not do it. That's not how it works. It's never worked that way. So we have to follow the law, and we have to have due process, and we don't always like it. It always doesn't work out. But without that, we don't have a democracy. So it's a pretty simple decision. If we want to maintain our democracy, we have to follow the rule of law, and we have to have due process, and that's for everybody, including this Garcia person.